Cut the rope might look simple at first glance. A cute candy, a green monster, and a couple ropes. But underneath all that charm is a surprisingly complex physics engine. You've got rope tension, swinging arcs, gravity curves, friction, momentum transfer, and collision detection that has to feel pixel perfect or the whole puzzle falls apart. So for this video, I wanted to test whether AI can actually recreate those mechanics from scratch. No pre-made assets, no shortcuts, just pure physics and game logic. And today, we're putting two giants head-to-head, ChatGPT and Gemini. But this time, we're taking the experiment to a whole new level because we'll be using Cursor Pro, powered by the brand new ChatGPT 5.1 for coding and its agent mode. Agent mode basically works like having a mini developer living inside your editor. It plans, writes, fixes, and wires entire systems together automatically. Instead of just giving you code, it actually understands your project structure and builds features like a real teammate. On the other side, we have Gemini 3 Pro, Google's newest coding model, going toe-to-toe with ChatGPT to see which one truly understands physics, gameplay flow, and puzzle logic. So, let's find out which AI can actually recreate Cut the Rope, and which one ends up cutting the wrong rope. We started with ChatGPT. I gave it a fully detailed prompt, carefully explaining how Cut the Rope works, the physics behind it, and exactly what I wanted from the game, so it could produce the highest quality result possible. Then I let it do its thing, and it just kept coding. ChatGPT was generating code non-stop for around 6 minutes straight, building out the mechanics and even designing a full level on its own. Once it finally finished, I ran the game to see the result. Visually, everything looked promising, but there was a major problem. The level was impossible to complete. The goal was placed too far from the ball, and there was no movement or momentum that could actually carry the ball to it. So while the effort and complexity were impressive, the level itself was completely unwinnable. So I went back to ChatGPT and explained exactly what went wrong. It immediately got back to work and edited the code much faster this time. After that, it was time to try again. And while it was definitely an improvement, there was still an issue. This time, the ball had some initial momentum, which is already a big step forward. But the problem was that the level would autocomplete. The ball would instantly touch the goal and trigger a win without me doing anything. Still, this wasn't a total failure. For the first time, we actually got to see the physics in action, including the rope cutting mechanics. And honestly, the way it handled the ropes, gravity, and movement was pretty impressive. The gameplay logic was there. It just needed better level design and balance. It was time to give ChatGPT one last attempt at getting this right. I explained that the level was auto-completing on its own, and that the game actually needed to require some thinking to beat. In response, ChatGPT went back to work and started coding again, this time for around 3 to 4 minutes straight. When the new level loaded in, things immediately looked more promising. There was now a proper layout, a wall positioned to block the ball, forcing an actual interaction, and an additional orange obstacle. Now, to be fair, that orange obstacle didn't really do much for some reason, but even so, this finally felt like a real cut-the-rope level. To win, I actually had to time the rope cut correctly. Cut too early or too late and you'd miss the goal. It wasn't overly complex, but for a third attempt, this was a huge improvement. The level required intention, timing, and understanding the physics, and that's exactly what Cut the Rope is all about. For a third try, this was genuinely solid work. Overall, ChatGPT delivered a strong technical attempt. It clearly understood the core mechanics of Cut the Rope and demonstrated impressive physics, especially with rope tension and cutting behavior. However, level design was its main weakness. The first version was impossible, the second auto-completed, and only on the third try did it produce a level that actually required timing and player input. Still, the improvement between iterations was noticeable, and by the end, ChatGPT managed to create a playable and logical experience. From a physics and systems perspective, it performed very well, but it definitely needed multiple attempts to get the gameplay balance right. Now it's time for Gemini's attempt. So I switched the model to Gemini 3 Pro, something one of you actually suggested in the last video, and honestly, thank you for that. To keep things fair, I gave it the exact same prompt I originally used with ChatGPT. Same rules, same expectations. Gemini started coding immediately, and it kept going for about 5 minutes straight. When it was finally time to run the game, I was genuinely surprised. But then I noticed something interesting. The physics felt a little different, sure, but the level design was almost identical to ChatGPT's first attempt. The ball was hanging in the middle, and the goal was sitting down in the bottom right corner. What a coincidence, right? So for now, both models are tied. First attempt from Gemini, just like ChatGPT, creates a level that automatically fails. No real challenge, no player thinking required. Let's see if Gemini can recover from this. Since the problem with Gemini was exactly the same as ChatGPT's first attempt, I decided to reuse the second prompt I gave to ChatGPT, the one that accidentally made the level autocomplete. Let's see if Gemini makes the same mistake. After around 3 minutes of coding, the second version was ready. And wow, I'm genuinely impressed. Gemini took a completely different approach. Instead of forcing movement from a single rope, it redesigned the level to use 2 ropes. The idea was actually smart. You cut the first rope to build momentum, then cut the second rope at the perfect time to swing the ball into the goal. But there was still a small issue. No matter how perfectly I timed the cuts, the momentum just wasn't strong enough. The ball never quite reached the goal. Either the physics weren't tuned enough, or I'm just really bad at this. Still, overall, this second attempt from Gemini was really impressive, especially from a level design and problem-solving perspective. I explained the issue to Gemini, and without talking too much, let's see the final attempt. It made the first rope shorter and the second rope longer, and it even relocated the goal a little bit, making the level actually doable. After struggling a little bit, because of course I'm too good at this, I actually finally managed to beat the level. And that wraps up Gemini's attempt. Compared to ChatGPT, Gemini was much more strategic and efficient. It designed levels that actually work, introduced clever rope mechanics, and gave us a truly playable experience. Even small adjustments, like shortening the first rope and lengthening the second, made a huge difference, and the goal placement was finally spot on. For today's video, Gemini is our clear winner. I want to say a huge thank you to everyone for watching. If you enjoyed this, make sure to like and subscribe, and go back to watch the Angry Birds video if you haven't already. Also, don't forget to leave a comment down below with what other games you want to see me recreate using AI, or any feedback you have. I'm super excited to see your suggestions, and I can't wait to bring more AI game recreations to life.